Here's why you can't finish your songs. And here's the thing, it's not writer's block. Many Christian songwriters think that writer's block is something that is inevitable. I'm going to sit down to write this song and it's just not going to happen for me. Well, I'm here to tell you that writer's block is not what you think it is. Writer's block, we think of writer's block as this thing that we sit down to write and there's just no inspiration and there's no ideas there. But I'm going to challenge you with this thought. I believe that most of the time, writer's block is actually too many ideas, too many good ideas, and now you're in this place of overwhelm and decision fatigue. So let's break down a couple of things that we can do immediately, that you can implement immediately into your songwriting to overcome this perceived writer's block. Because again, writer's block is not a lack of inspiration in most cases. Most of the time, there's too many decisions to be made. So we're going to use 3 steps, and I have a pro tip for you too. We're going to use 3 simple steps to overcome this problem. So the first one is we're going to pick one theme. We're going to pick one theme, all right? We're not going to have a bunch of topics. So this is something that my wife and I see all the time with Christian songwriters. Is there's so many good ideas that you have that you try to cram them all together into one song, and then the song comes out very uncohesive and really not that good, right? So, for example, I see many Christian songwriters write in the verse about the glory of God. And then in the chorus, it'll be about my joy and praise to God. And then in the bridge, it'll like turn into like the army of dry bones rise or something like that, right? So there's like really cool ideas, but they're very much not connected to each other. And then the final product feels off, it feels disjointed. And that's because there's too many good ideas that aren't flowing well together. So simplify the process. Instead of trying to say everything, say one thing well. So pick one theme, all right? And then the second thing that you're going to do is pick one progression, right? Pick one progression. So here's the thing. I love having multiple songs, multiple progressions in my songs. And I think there's a lot of variety in that. But there's a simplicity in writing everything to one chord progression that, it can be underutilized in Christian music or overutilized in Christian music. So there's a balance to all these things. But if you're struggling in writer's block and there's the overwhelm of decision making, pick one progression and stick to that, right? So pick one progression and one solid theme. And then number 3, what we're going to do is start with the chorus and the first verse. Start with the chorus and the verse, okay? So you're already facing too many decisions, so let's not get into the idea that, we need, to write a bridge and 2 pre-choruses and an alternate chorus and another verse and maybe a third verse and then a solo and then an instrumental and then an interlude and then an intro, and then you're starting to see there's overwhelm already just on that part of it, right? So let's just simplify it for now. Pick your theme, pick one progression, and then start with the chorus or the verse, right? That's simple. Just start with that because the chorus is the main thing anyway. So let's start there and let's build the idea around it, okay? And then here's one pro tip. I'm not going to write it down, but here's the pro tip. Write multiple melodies over your one chord progression, right? So you have the theme and the concept. So before you even jump into lyrics, write 3 or 4 or 5 or however many melodies over your one chord progression. The best melody, make it your chorus. The next best melody, make it your verse. The next best melody, make it a bridge if you end up writing a bridge. And you see where I'm going with this, right? So make the best melody the winner and make that your chorus. And then this is going to help you not have this overwhelm of I have a journal full of lyrics and I have to cram them in this small little spot. Write your melody first and then put your lyrics into that melody framework, all right? So if you follow those 3 steps and that pro tip, you're not going to be in writer's block anymore because we're building parameters, we're building guidelines, a fence, or whatever you want to call it, right? So imagine like a playground. When you go to the playground, you can see that there's stuff inside of that playground and within the playground that's designed to help you get into play much, much faster. There's monkey bars, there's slides, there's all these little obstacle courses and rock climbing and all the things within the playground, right? And then, of course, there's always other people, other kids playing kickball or football out in the field next to it, right? So you don't have to contain yourself within the playground, but if you're overwhelmed and there's too many options, start with the easy things within the parameter. These 3 things that we talked about and that pro tip. And that's going to get you into that season, that place of writing effectively very, very fast. Hey, if you enjoyed this, then comment below and I'll send you another training.